Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, 3 detained suspects in the death of flight attendant Christine Dacera have been released after the prosecutor said more evidence is needed to establish rape. But PNP Chief Debold Sinas insists the victim was sexually assaulted. With still many loose ends, how should authorities handle cases of death such as this? DOJ Prosecutor General Benedicto Malcontento and forensic pathologist Dr. Raquel Fortun join us live. The investigation continues over the death of a flight attendant at a Makati hotel on New Year's Day. CNN Philippines obtained 2 short clips from a source showing the last moments of Christine Angelica Dacera prior to her death. The timestamps from the videos show these were taken at past 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. Meantime, 3 detained suspects tagged in the death were released Wednesday night. The Makati prosecutor says the police submitted insufficient evidence to establish that Dacera was killed or raped. Let's go straight to the source of the story. First off, we have Department of Justice Prosecutor General Benedicto Malcontento. Attorney Malcontento, welcome to the source, sir, and maraming salamat po sa inyong oras.
Welcome, Pinky. Good morning to you and to all your televiewers.
So the decision, attorney, is to refer the Dacera case for further investigation, and there was an order to release the 3 suspects. In fact, they were released last night: John Paul de la Serna III, Romel Galido, and John Paul Halili. Tell us, why is there a need to conduct further investigation? And I'll just do a follow-up already. Ibig sabihin ho ba nito, nagkaroon po yung problema, yung investigation conducted by the police?
Ganito po yan, ang pananaw ng ating mga prosecutors ng Makati. At this point in time, the pieces of evidence are not sufficient for us to file any charges. Any case for that matter. So we cannot file homicide, murder, rape with homicide with the existing evidence presented so far by the PNP and their witnesses.
Why, though, would the PNP be so sure of a charge because from my understanding, they were charged with what was called provisional rape with homicide. And here you are, the prosecutor saying there's insufficient evidence. We can't really right now establish that there was rape or even murder or homicide.
Pinky, that matter, I will leave it to the leadership of the PNP. What is their procedure? I will leave it to them. I will just explain what are the procedures insofar as our prosecutors are concerned. Now, our office will just receive the complaint coming from the PNP. Now, probably they have their own mindset. And as the deciding authority, we have our own procedures to follow. And our decision is, at this point in time, the pieces of evidence are not enough for us to arrive at a decision whether the case will be filed or not. We are not dismissing the case, just to be clear about it. We are just converting this into a regular preliminary investigation.
What pieces of evidence did the prosecutor examine that seems to be different from the pieces of evidence that the police examined for them to file a complaint? Tama ho ba yun, complaint or charge of provisional rape with homicide? And to follow up on that, sir, is there such a thing as a charge of provisional rape and homicide?
The word provisional is a bit not ordinary insofar as we are concerned. However, probably by way of strategy. So I'm leaving it to the PNP. So, but insofar as we are concerned, we studied the affidavits and the evidence. These are not enough at this point in time. That's why the procedure is
And wait,
proceed to proper, regular, preliminary investigation so that the police are given sufficient time to submit additional evidence if they have. And in the same manner, the respondents as well would be given their chance to submit their evidence as well.
would you say, attorney, that the charge that the police or the complaint that the police forwarded to the prosecutor was premature?
I can say that it's premature insofar as the prosecutors are concerned. Premature because that is our finding. If it is sufficient, we could have dismissed it outright or decided to file the case. So it's insofar as the prosecutors are concerned, by way of our procedures, it's incomplete, premature.
For ordinary people like me, sir, hindi po ang mga abogado, ang sinasabi ho kasi ng police, may pasa po yung katawan ng biktima. Ang sinabi din po sa akin ng police, there was semen found. And then the prosecutor is saying, there is not enough evidence to prove there was rape or even homicide. How can ordinary people like me actually reconcile that? Is it just a difference in opinion, or this really has to be, number one, based on evidence and testimony?
Pinky, ganito yan. Yung sinasabing may semen, walang evidence to that effect. Wala. Doon sa medico-legal, walang sinasabing ganyan. That's why our prosecutors decided to refer this for further investigation to determine baka mayroon in the future or wala at all. But sa ngayon, yung case ngayon, based doon sa medical na sinabmit ng PNP, there's no such thing na nagsasabi na may semen sa private parts ng deceased. That's number one. Number two, yung sinasabi may mga pasa, bruises, inaral namin ang pieces of evidence. Ang nag-testify lang yan, yung cousin ni Christine Dacera. So, we must have an independent medical examination for that. Ano ba yung kausa? Anong cause ng mga abrasions na yon, injuries na yon? So in other words, there must be a scientific basis, medical basis na dapat isubmit ang PNP para paniwalaan namin ang kanilang allegation. As of now, it does not exist. Wala pang ganong medical finding. So which explains why our decision is for a full-blown preliminary investigation.
Attorney, when we look into this autopsy report, which has been circulating online, I understand that this could also be confidential in nature. Can you help us through this process? Ang autopsy ho ba na lumalabas, just to be very clear on that, is that confidential in nature? Can certain representatives be given a copy if that is allowed by maybe the victims' families or even those accused?
Ganito yan. It is confidential in nature. It is to be in the possession of the doctor and the police agencies. And of course, the families upon request would be entitled to this. So, ganon ang procedure dyan. And so far, ang sinabit lang naman nila at this point in time ay yung medico-legal issued by Dr. Sarmiento of the PNP. So, If that is one of the two documents submitted by the PNP, we cannot ascertain at this point in time whether may crime or wala.
One of two documents submitted by the PNP, sir, sabi niyo po, what's the second one? Is it the
Yung isa
testimonial
doon,
evidence?
Pinky, yung
Or testimonial statements, rather?
ang isa doon, Pinky, yung death certificate na nagsasabi lang na yung aneurysm yung cause. So it will not lead into a conclusion kung sino ang may gawa. At kung talaga bang may foul play. That is the first document na inattach nila doon sa kanilang habla. At pangalawa, yung medico-legal na nagsasabi na ruptured aneurysm. So walang other findings kasi doon at this point in time. Walang toxicology report, walang chemical analysis, walang histopath. Ito yung mga forensic evidence na kailangan namin.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you, because in this resolution of the prosecutor, it said they want three things: a DNA analysis, a toxicology and chemical analysis, and a histopath. Attorney, in very basic language siguro, tell us how a DNA analysis can help, a toxicology, chemical analysis can help, and a histopath. And again, I'll do a follow-up on that. Kailangan ho ba itong tatlo form part of the autopsy, the original autopsy report?
Not necessary. Ang sinasabi lang namin, itong mga forensic evidence na ito, makakatulong sa amin because doon lang sa sinubmit ng PNP na documents are not enough. So that's why we are giving them, the parties, the opportunity to submit additional evidence because itong DNA, granting na may semen, makikita kung saan galing. Itong toxicology naman, makikita natin doon ano ba yung ininom, ano ang pinainom, ano yung mga results ng mga ininom. Yan ang makukuha dyan sa results ng forensic evidence na kailangan ng mga prosecutors to determine whether may foul play or wala, at kung may foul play, sino ang responsible.
And what about the histopath? Ano po yung histopath?
Mas masyadong technical siya, parang ano yan mga ano yung cells. It talks about cells na yan, Pinky. It's too technical already. Pero makakatulong din yan nung sa sinabi ko na ano ang mga nangyari doon sa posibleng mga nainom nila. Because given naman that itong si Christine nasa party at nag-inuman sila.
Okay. So, meron kayong kopya ng autopsy report, obviously, sir, and of course the death certificate. And let me go back to that autopsy report that's been circulating on social media. So, ang lumalabas po, I saw yung injuries dun sa extremities. There were about 9 of them. I'm sure you saw that also, sir. Ano po, yung sa, it's also very technical written, ano po. And then, nakasulat nga po that healed lacerations. Nandun din po yung words na healed lacerations. And in that autopsy, you're right, sir. If that is the genuine one that's circulating on media, wala pong nakasulat in any part of that autopsy report yung salitang semen.
That is correct.
Okay, so you validate that. That is
yes,
correct.
Yes, that is correct,
so,
Pinky. Now, Pinky, ganito yan. Allow me to explain na in general terms because I cannot dwell on the specifics because the case is still pending. Kasi yung sinasabi natin na healed laceration, hindi yan ngayon magpo-prove ng sexual assault because in layman's term, ang healed laceration matagal na yan na nangyari. So kung itong alleged rape or sexual assault na nangyari dito, it will not help yung ganong laman ng medical legal. And if I may, Pinky, in relation to this, Secretary Maynard Guevara already issued a department order for the NBI to conduct investigation.
Opo.
It's a cooperative effort para we can really arrive at the truth.
Yung, when do you expect, attorney, this DNA analysis result, this toxicology chemical analysis result, and this histopath result?
With the focus now on this case, and with PNP, NBI cooperating, mabilis dapat yan. Dapat within the week, dapat lumabas yan.
Okay. So ngayon po, just to be clear on this also, attorney, ano ho yung kasi ang tinawag po ng police doon sa 3 that were previously detained and the 8 that were still who have not supposedly surrendered or voluntarily went to the police station after the fact, sir. What are they? Are they suspects? Kasi meron pong nasasaktan na tinatawag silang suspect. Ngayon po, ano ho ba sila? Persons of interest ho ba sila?
Ang legal term namin dyan, Pinky, taking into account na meron ng preliminary investigation. Ang tawag natin dyan, respondents. They are respondents.
Respondents. Okay. And I understand that the PNP will also be calling the 11 to shed light on what happened. They will be subpoenaed. Kapag ano ho ba ang karapatan ng 11 kung ayaw nilang to heed the call of the PNP? Can they be arrested, attorney?
Pinky, ganito yan. Taking into account na nag-issue na kami ng order for a regular preliminary investigation. Yung venue ng kaso, nasa prosecutors na yan. Wala na sa police. In other words, ang order na masusunod, yung order ng prosecutors natin for the 11 respondents to appear on January 13. Yan yung amin. Wala nang ibang masusunod at this point in time.
I see. So, kayo po ang dapat masunod, hindi ang PNP?
Yes, because preliminary investigation na to, kami na ang may jurisdiction at this point in time.
Okay, at sa huling tanong, also to be clear about this, definitely, sir, because of our discussion and because this is for further investigation, this is not case closed.
And so far as the prosecutors are concerned, Pinky, nag-uumpisa pa lang kami. In fact, ang real job namin will start comes January 13. Diyan pa lang kami. We are just starting, but I am assuring the family, the Dacera family, that this will be fast, justice will be delivered. And in the same manner, the 11 respondents, we will afford them all their rights under the law, and we will give them all the chances for them to defend their rights and their stories on this matter.
DOJ Prosecutor General Benedicto Malcontento, sir, I'd like to thank you for your time and explaining this to us. Maraming salamat po.
Welcome, Pinky, and mabuhay kayo.
And coming up, with conflicting stories over the death of Christine Dacera, how should authorities handle such investigations? Forensic pathologist Dr. Raquel Fortun joins us live after the break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned.